Welcome to Messages from the Universe with Lori Wondra. Lori is an internationally renowned psychic medium, author, and shamanic practitioner, sharing insights from angels, guides, wisdom keepers, and teachers of the universe that help you navigate life's mysteries and transformations.
Hello, I am Lori Wondra, and thank you for listening. We are entering into March, and boy, it is going to be a power-packed month. We have a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse in the month of March, as well as other planetary influences that sit back I'm going to cover as we cover the days of March. Well, March is generally known as the third month in numerology. In fact, March's collective numerology for 2025 is the number 3, which represents creativity, communication, and optimism. Boy, we need some optimism and we need more truthful communication. But this is also associated with confidence and self-reliance, self-expression, and wholeness. Also corresponds with magic and miracles and manifestation, the Holy Trinity, and the divine revealing itself. The energy of this year, in 2025, continues to guide us through powerful shifts, shape-shifting the collective consciousness in ways that simply can no longer be ignored. This month provides a profound spiritual shift as we close out Pisces season, completing an activation that's really been happening beneath the surface for quite a few months. And as we step into a new astrological year, which Aries is, we're not just crossing into Aries season and the energy and the archetype of I am, but we're actually stepping into a new era. This is a great cycle, the wheel of life. It's always turning, just like eclipses and retrogrades and planetary shifts that will take this month by storm. You'll find this month's energy demanding presence. It's awareness and pushes us to trust. But while the winds of change move fast, here are some of the themes that you can expect in March. This month, expect to see new inventions, wealth on all levels, health and healing, and more awareness in those areas that maybe we've been avoiding and we need to step in and take action. Discovery of hidden treasures, order, harmony, and establishing healthy connections. Increased in use of clairvoyancy, clairaudience, and clairsentience, and revelation through meditations, dreams, signs, and synchronicities in nature. And boy, do I love those. So what can we expect in March of 2025? Well, we jump in on March 1 with Venus being retrograde. And this puts us in a call from the planetary energies to be true to ourselves. The month of March begins with this bang as Venus turns retrograde. In this reversal of the energy of this planet going seemingly backwards, the goddess of love, worth, values, wealth, and desires moves backwards through the flames, urging us to reflect on how we pursue our goals. Now the mirror is held up, and that reveals the shadow in how we pursue love, how we look at validation and self-worth. This transit exposes those places where our confidence, our desires, and our self-worth have been confused with defensiveness, urgency. Here is where the deep work begins, because in its purest form, Aries represents our identity, the concept of I am. And since Venus is pulling back, everything related to how we view ourselves in regard to love, money, and personal value will be re-examined. Old wounds of self-worth, rejection, and feeling, sometimes of being not enough, come to the surface, especially those we thought we had already overcome. The cracks begin to appear if you've built your sense of value on external validation, because this is inner work. The retrograde forces a change if your identity is shaped by others' perception of what you are desirable, needful, or if you're successful. It's time to stop running and sit in the discomfort of who you are when there's nothing to prove, no one to impress, and nothing to win. Heal those wounds that tell you love has to be earned. Rewrite the story that says you have to fight to be seen. Meet yourself without armor, without performance. Meet yourself as the real, authentic you. You are a loving being. You don't have to work hard to be loved. The question is, are you ready to fully love the person that you are? Can you stop demanding they be more, do more, achieve more, just to feel worthy of receiving? Now let's jump ahead because March 3rd, we have Mercury entering Aries, and that activates the voice of the divine mind. Mercury is the divine messenger, and it charges into Aries, activating the mental body. There will be a shift in the way you assert and communicate your truth. Old ways of thinking will be challenged, and this will help you rewrite your inner dialogue. Pay attention to current themes that arise as Mercury turns retrograde in Aries. Right after the eclipse, which will be mid-month, expect to revisit, revise, or rework things in your life. It is wise to avoid speaking without thinking and reacting impulsively when angry. Instead, pay attention to what's being said by you and to you. Now, March 12th, we have a Sun-Saturn conjunction. This really anchors light within the great unknown. The Sun and Saturn lock forces on March 12th and beginning this exciting cycle where dreams meet discipline and reality tests our intuition. The Sun, which represents life force and conscious awareness, merges with the planet of structure, karma, and mastery. Taking the next step towards spiritual maturity can feel heavy, but this is the place where illusion dissolves. Whatever you've been avoiding, wherever foundation isn't strong, Saturn is here to reinforce or dismantle it. Social pressure for people to get their lives together, commit, stop floating through half-baked dreams and build something sustainably is strongly felt. We'll feel this desire to get organized and to stop procrastinating, to work through any issues. And if you have been acting with integrity, Saturn will reward you. If you cut corners, well, the consequences for cutting those corners will show up. There's no escaping Saturn's lessons, but there's also no greater strength than understanding them. Now, March 14th is a lunar eclipse in Virgo. This is about purifying the path to mastery. This is the first eclipse of the year, and it happens March 14th, actually the evening of March 13th into the early hours of March 14th, and that initiates the Pisces-Virgo eclipse cycle, opening the door to refinement, mastery, and deep healing. It is no ordinary lunar eclipse. The moon in Virgo and the sun in Pisces carries the weight of karmic closure and sacred purification. As the moon conjuncts the south node in Virgo during this eclipse, you are called to release outdated cycles, habits, and beliefs that have bound you to an older version of yourself. The Virgo-Pisces axis is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the healer and the mystic, the structured and the surrendered. It's here where the sacred and the practical come together and where body, mind, and spirit align. And with the moon in Virgo opposing Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, there's this tug of war energy between discipline and disillusion, between responsibility and escapism. Now, Saturn holds you to be accountable for your healing, while Neptune blurs the lines. It's that watery planet that makes things a little bit easier to drift into avoidance. So the question to ask yourself is, are you delaying the necessary changes? Are you micromanaging your growth rather than allowing it to unfold naturally? I know us humans, we like to control things, but the planets are going to give us the opportunity and the reminder to go with the flow. When the full moon's trine to Uranus, things shape up, offering unexpected breakthroughs. And if you're trying to control the situation, you might skip or miss a breakthrough. While this planetary energy is sextile to Mars, it provides this momentum to see things through to completion. But this isn't about rushing. It's about refinement. What is worth your energy, your time, and your effort? If we're rushing through things, we don't have time to pause and learn and experience what needs to be reworked, not given up on. What makes this eclipse even more dynamic is that these planetary alignments form a cradle, a rare aspect pattern that blends tension with support and pressure with creativity and opportunity. A cradle contains two oppositions, like the moon and the sun, or the moon, Saturn, Neptune. And that helps soften the energy by flowing aspects, creating this paradox of challenge but yet ease. In addition to teaching resilience, this aspect exposes where avoidance tendencies may arise and where sidestepping issues feels more comfortable than confronting them. At its highest expression, this pattern fuels immense creative potential, allowing you to turn obstacles into wisdom, hardships into mastery. This eclipse isn't here to just cleanse. It is here to show you how to transmute limitations into something meaningful and truly step into your sacred medicine. And if you take advantage of this energy now with this eclipse, this is a new version of you being born. Now, the next day, March 15th, Mercury retrograde begins. And when we go into a retrograde season, this is about resetting, renewal, recalibrating, but this will be in the mental body. We're in this 9-year, 2025, and it's a time of completion and endings and deep change. And Mercury, the planet of communication, perception, and movement, is retracing its steps. This isn't just about reviewing the past. It is about liberating ourselves from old patterns in how we think, how we speak, and most importantly, how we act. It is about purging the mental body of its wounded identity, communication, and mental patterns, leaving way and creating new patterns of the new version of yourself. Do not jump to conclusions. Do not react without thinking or force situations that need more time to unfold. Use discernment when making decisions or accepting new contracts. Now is not the time to rush. Actions made without reflection and words spoken in an impulsive manner could lead to unnecessary conflicts. Instead, let Aries fire burn away outdated mental habits by slowing down, listening, and burning away those old mental patterns through the alchemy of the Aries fire. It's about refining willpower, sharpening your intentions, and learning when to act and when to pause. Growth is occurring, even if you feel it isn't, but only if you're willing to do the inner work first. And March 20th, Aries season officially begins, and we experience the spring equinox, and this is the time of the new era. The sun crosses the equator, and that signals the beginning of the new astrological year and the spring equinox, and everything resets. But this isn't just any Aries season. This one hits differently. We're not just stepping into new energy. We're launching into it, catapulting. Retrogrades, eclipses, and a major planetary shift that hasn't happened in decades creates this energy surge, taking us forward. So Aries season 2025 is a dynamic movement of energy, but it's not about reckless, impulsive energy. It's about intuition and structure. It's about learning how to keep a steady flame, a steady stream of creativity and inspiration, and not becoming burnt out by lesser energies. Don't be afraid to say goodbye to those things that reduce your flame. With Venus still retrograde, retracing its steps, and Mercury also retrograde, the past is catching up. However, it is not meant to hold us back, but rather to show us what still needs to be liberated. Our dreams are no longer dreams. They are calls to actions. They are becoming reality. So overall, this Aries season is about birthing ourselves anew, not individually, but collectively. This season marks the beginning of a major generational shift. Don't become discouraged by setbacks. Learn to be patient and stand by your truth. And if you are not sure what that truth is, seek it. March 27th, now Venus retrogrades back into Pisces from Aries. This is about learning to surrender and trust. Here it will remain until April 13th. There are no bounds to love in Pisces. Beauty transcends form, and the heart speaks a language beyond words. But in retrograde motion, this isn't about floating around in romantic ideals or losing yourself in fantasies. It's about revisiting old emotional wounds, past relationships, and deep-seated beliefs about love, worth, and connection. Issues left unresolved between January 2nd and February 4th, when Venus first moved through Pisces, now tend to resurface. If you didn't deal with them then, or you didn't address them how the universe wanted you to address them, they will be back in your radar now. Old lovers, friends may reappear, forgotten dreams may resurface, and hidden emotions may demand attention. The past may feel closer than ever with this retrograde. However, this is not a time to dwell on the past and get lost in nostalgia. This is a time for you to reflect on what you have learned in your relationships and how your relationships reflect your self-worth. Why is this coming up? What have you learned? What patterns need to be transformed? And where have you sacrificed too much? Where have you gotten lost in the energy? Financially, this retrograde can reveal illusions around money and resources. Be mindful of deceptive deals, unclear financial decisions, or spending as a form of escapism. Rather than chasing what once was, use this time to redefine what you truly value in love, pleasure, and abundance. Pisces calls for surrender, and Venus retrograde reminds us some things are meant to be freed and not revived. Now, March 29th, we have a partial solar eclipse and Mercury, and this is the world between worlds. An otherworldly shift occurs in this energy, and this marks the beginning of a new lunar cycle. Eclipses accelerate fate, opening doors before you even knock on the door. This isn't subtle. This is a high-level initiation, an upgrade of energy to the light body, demanding movement. Previous podcasts have talked about the heart, the universal heart chakra, our upgrades in these areas. And this is the energy that's coming into the planet because we have been preparing for it. At the same time, Mercury retrograde drifts back into Pisces, meeting Neptune there just before Neptune changes signs. And this is like catching a secret meeting or the last whisper of a dream before waking up, a moment of deep reflection before everything changes. A sextile between the new moon and Pluto reveals additional layers of magic, mystery, and power, pulling things into place in a quiet but undeniable way. You are going to feel this shift. And while you may not be able to see what is unfolding, everything is shifting beneath the surface and reshaping what you believe is possible. This isn't just about taking action. It's about understanding what is guiding that action. This is a great time to consider, are you guided by a higher power or the wounds of the past? What fuels your desire? And have you ignored your instincts? This is also a time where the new wisdom keepers and the teachers are interacting with us. They're helping us get through these energy surges. And with Mercury retrograde meeting with Neptune during this time, the mind begins to swim in the unseen. Remember, Neptune is that watery planet, and it brings messages through intuition, dreams, and those feelings of deja vu. Don't force answers. Allow the eclipse to uncover the truth and trust that the revelations will come exactly when they need to. So your homework at this time is creating that space, allowing you to have some downtime, rest time, some space in your day to just be. Now on March 30th, Neptune enters Aries. Tons of Aries energy right now, igniting the era of divinely guided action. As the month ends, Neptune changes signs for the first time since 2011, leaving Pisces and entering Aries. And that is a big deal. It's been over 160 years since Neptune last moved through Aries, and this transit is anything but subtle. Last time Neptune was here, the world was ablaze with radical change, ideas clashing, revolutions unfolding, the Civil War defining the United States. And now, in 2025, Neptune in Aries signals another era upheaval. However, this time the battlefield isn't just physical, it's technology, it's spiritual, it's deeply personal, hitting humanity at its core. Neptune in Aries fuels forward progress. The age of passive dreaming is over. This is about bringing the vision into reality. Technology is about to accelerate in ways that require ethical discussions. Artificial intelligence, bioengineering, virtual reality are not only seen as tools to some, but extensions of a person's identity. But with that, we cannot lose touch with the true essence of things found in nature, found beyond technology, beyond AI, beyond the computer, phones, television, etc. Music, art, and culture will reject watered-down trends in favor of something authentic, vital, and genuine. And the same applies for spirituality. What was once packaged and sold as enlightenment will be challenged, dismantled, and redefined. False authorities, toxic teachings, and spiritual systems designed to manipulate rather than liberate will be exposed. There will be an exposure of cult-like mentalities, deceptive leadership, and blind faith in chosen ones, forcing people to take responsibility for their own spiritual development. I've been teaching this for years. Tap into your higher self. Connect with your wisdom keepers, the teachers of the universe. Understand that everything is one, and you are one with that energy. Neptune in Aries doesn't float. It fights. It cuts through illusion, revealing where spirituality is used as control rather than empowerment. One of the most significant shifts will be in how people break free from addictions, distractions, toxic cycles, and other forms of escapism that have numbed rather than fueled their souls. Neptune in Aries says no more culture of avoidance. This era is about reclaiming power, choosing presence over escapism, and turning spiritual practice into something that moves, builds, motivates, and protects. This isn't a soft awakening. It's an alchemy. It's purification of what no longer serves. The dreamers become leaders and take action as co-creators in the universe. And this is why the ascended masters and the rays of the 13 rays of light are now coming into the planet. Overall, March ushers in a generational shift that redefines our lives on every single level. It is not just about personal transformation. It is about collective weaving and creating a new era. It is about truth and speaking our truth and standing up in that truth. This is a time of understanding what it truly means to trust in Great Spirit, to listen to guidance and wisdom that doesn't come from logic or proof, but something higher and deeper, and take actions upon that. That kind of trust isn't rooted in what can be measured or explained, but in what can be felt. Trust those echoes through intuition. They show up in the synchronicities and move us in ways that the mind can't fully grasp. Surrender to that trust. Move with it. Allow it to support your path, even when you can't see the full picture yet. You are evolving. You are guided, protected, surrounded with teachers and wisdom keepers of the universe that have been ready to take you through these gateways of the new era. I'm Lori Wondra of Your Life Core, and thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to Messages from the Universe. For information about Lori Wondra's current events or to schedule a private session, visit her website, yourlifecore.com. You can also subscribe to her monthly newsletter. Lori also shares inspirational and informational messages on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening.